G'day viewers, and welcome to the Racing Base preview of Golden Slipper Stakes Day. Big day of racing coming up from Rosehill Gardens this Saturday. We've got 5 Group 1 races, the biggest of course being the Golden Slipper for the 2-year-olds. So to help me dissect the form of all these big races and try and find a winner, I've got Rick Chapman on the other line. Rick, welcome mate, and how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. As you can see, I'm sporting my Cronulla jersey, which I won off you in a bet. And they won last Sunday, so I promise I'll wear it if they won, and they're wearing it. I'm wearing it. And incidentally, I've got a similar sort of bet coming up with one of our followers, Scotty Ladder. He bet me in the TJ Smith later on in the carnival, and I'm on Exosphere, and he'll find something to try and beat it, but he won't, of course. Anyway, so spoils the victory being worn already.
Yeah, well, you know, I had to hunt around everywhere for that top, Rick, when I was in Sydney, and each of the major sports stores I went to didn't even stock them. So I ended up in some little place that I rang around and found one. So luckily for you, I put the hard yards in and got your prize for you, mate. So enjoy.
Yeah. I appreciate you're a man who settles his bets and that you went and did the hard yards, because it fits quite well too. It's quite well. It always looks better when they win.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. All right, let's get on with this weekend. Kick off with the big one, Rick, the Golden Slipper. What have you got for us?
Well, I read your story the other day, and I kicked the cat as soon as I read it, because I think you've tipped the winner. I do believe the Capitalist is the best horse, and I'm even happier now because of the barrier draws. He's going to get the perfect sit just in behind the speed. Now, these people who talk about Extreme Choice being a super horse running super times, well, that's all true in Melbourne, but he's going to come here and he's going to be up against Kiss and Makeup and Gay's other horse, Scarlet Rain. They both go forward. They only know how to go forward. There's going to be extreme pressure on this colt right from the word go. And the horses box seating, such as Flying Artie and Capitalist and probably Good Standing, are just going to have the last shot. And Calliope, don't leave her out, she's a dark horse. And I think Capitalist will just explode to the lead at 300, kick 2 or 3 clear and hang on and win comfortably. I put in the danger to be Flying Artie. I think he's very good, and I think Calliope is also very good with a healthy respect for Good Standing and Extreme Choice boxing on Gamely in 5th spot. But I think if I can, I have got $11 Capitalist all week. I've been backing him. It's a big 4-figure sum for me if he wins, and I'm looking forward to the race. 4:30, the race is on. 4:35, I am going to be one happy camper.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one as well, Rick. But I don't want to harp on about it for too long, because I'm just not confident at all. I really tossed with that decision to put Capitalist on top, and as much as he's my top pick, it wouldn't surprise to see Flying Artie, Extreme Choice, or a couple of others get up. So, it's a race I'll have a punt on for fun. No real confidence, to be honest, Rick. I agree with you. I think there's going to be more pressure in this one, and the ones that sit back, like Flying Artie and Capitalist, will be better served. And the thing that swayed me to Capitalist is, when you look back, you look at how good C4 he was. He was, rated the best 3-year-old in the land. So he went undefeated throughout his first 11 starts in his career, other than the race before the Slipper. So he finished second in that race, same as Capitalist did, and same training techniques, both with Snowden. You just got to wonder if he's just had a soft time before that run. That run's just designed just to top him off, and he'll improve by lengths and be too good for them. So, like I said, I'm with Capitalist, with you, Rick. Hopefully, for your sake, and that big bet he does come in. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Flying Artie knock him off either.
He's very good, Flying Artie, but this Sydney Colt Good Landing is pretty smart too. And anyway, it's going to be a great race, and it will be the classic battle of 3 horses going out hard, speed horses, and 3 real good horses coming from behind. Who gets the prize at the end of the day? Yeah,
that Good Standing, Rick. He ran some cracking time too last start. He ran a quick 1200 in the Skyline. Was he 109.09? So that's the quickest of the 2-year-olds in Sydney over 1200. So that puts him in good stead for this race too.
Well, you know, if you're a times man, which you are, that certainly adds up. But I just think I like him. He's very talented. I think he's going to be a great 3-year-old. But I just feel he's going to be 2 lengths behind Capitalist, and he just won't have enough ground to run Capitalist down once Blake gets the split and goes to the lead at 300. But I've said all along that Capitalist is the best 2-year-old I've seen since Luskin Star. I've got a lot of egg on my face if it gets rolled on Saturday. But I'll be feeling pretty bouncing around with spring in my step if he happens to win.
Also, wouldn't surprise to see someone like, you look at Gay. She's won 3 of the last 4 slippers. She's got Scarlet Rain and a couple of other good choices, but chances. Tommy jumps from the same barrier as he won on Vancouver, barrier 16. There's that sense of deja vu there as well, Rick. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Scarlet Rain get up either. It's a really open race. Like yourself, I'm with Capitalist, but yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, look, I love Gay, and I was on Scarlet Rain for a lot of money last start. So when Kathy rode it to a victory, but I just think she's a cog below 4 or 5 of these. I don't even think she's the best female. I think Calliope's the best female. Anyway, we'll know at 4:35.
Yeah, that's right. Looking forward to it. All right, next to the Group 1s, well, actually the first one of the day, Rick, the Ranvet. How do you see that one playing out?
I think it's the easiest Group 1 of the day, actually. I think mathematically they can't possibly beat Dibiani. He's just going to be right up there on the pace, probably 2nd or 3rd turning for home. He'll skip clear. These other good horses, Criterion, Horaki, Mongolian Khan, and the thing Huey's on, they'll all come home, but they're going to have to run under 34 seconds to beat him, and they just won't be able to. They simply won't be able to. Dibiani wins for mine comfortably.
Yeah, I also thought this was one of the easier ones on the day, Rick, but I'm opposed to you there. And I spoke to one of my contacts at Lindsay Park this morning, and he bluntly said Criterion will beat Dibiani. So, look, he doesn't really give me a bum steer. You have bad luck in racing, but I've got to take that on board, Rick. And when you look, he is simply the best 2,000-metre horse racing on Saturday, maybe the exception of Winks there. But you look at his 2,000-metre form, it's outstanding. So put a pen through that last run in the Canterbury where he finished last. It was just too short for him. And 2,000 metres, different caper, a little bit of sting out of the track will help him, and I'll be on Criterion.
Goes well at Rosehill too. I've got him down for 2nd. I think Hayes, Daveney, Quinella for sure and certain, but I just think mathematically he won't be able to run the other horse down. But interesting to hear the insider thoughts there from the stable. May only serve to make my bet not quite as big. But
sure. Well, the other point was with Dibiani trained off after his first 2 runs last campaign, Rick. And he only had the 4, and because he trained up so badly by the 4th, they sent him out. So that could be a concern, Rick, that he's just, those first 2 runs have looked good like they did last campaign, and then he just might train off a little bit. But that last run behind Winks was a cracker, and I think he'll cop a lot of attention for that run. So $5 I got for Criterion today as soon as I jumped on, so I was happy with that.
Yeah, well, so it should be. It's an each way price, so that's good. Just back to Dibiani, this is his 2nd campaign. He's a more seasoned horse, and he's run some great races against some of the world's best horses. So anyway,
that's right.
We'll see.
All right, now the next one, Rick. This is where I know we're going to differ here. The George Ryder Stakes, because your favourite mare for the horse Winks is running, and I'm going against her.
Well, let me state right up front that I do respect your judgment. You have the knack of finding winners, particularly Group 1s, and that has to be applauded, and your bank balance supports that. But any man who tips against Winks is a lunatic. In my view.
Well, that term did cross my mind when I was doing the form and going, you know what, she can be beaten here. And it was a long, painstaking decision, that one, Rick, because your head's just saying she is the best horse in the race. She simply just wins. But going on times, past stats, just the way that their preparations are evolving, I think Press Statement can knock her off.
Well, he was certainly beaten the last start, but and I've got a healthy respect for him. He's a very, very talented horse, but this is a genuine outstanding. This is a genuine freak, and she'll find a way to beat him.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, my main concern, Rick, was her dropping back to 1,500 from 16, where, you know, third up last campaign, she killed them in the Cox Plate, but she was stepping up in trip, and I just don't know if she's going to be as effective this time, dropping back in distance. And when you look at her only run at the track and trip, Press Statement's time was, you know, 4 lengths superior. You know, they've both made a lot of improvements since then. I've taken that on board as well. And their last start times at Randwick, Press Statement ran slightly quicker than her time as well. So just, I think, and the odds are what swayed me in the end. I know she's a champion. She'll dig deep, most probably wins, but at the odds, I'm going to have a crack at Press Statement.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But isn't he coming back 100 metres in distance too?
He is, but I think that suits him more. I think when he got out last time, he looked like he was really going to nail that Le Romain. But I think he peaked on his run in the last 100, so which is why I like him dropping back to 15. Whereas Winks, we know she's going to be much better over 2,000 already because she stepped up to 2,040 at her third run last campaign. So they're the few things that have swayed me, Rick. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see her win by 2, but I'm going to back Press Statement and hope he wins.
So where do you think they'll be in running? Who'll be in front of who coming to the bend?
I think Press Statement gets the gun run right behind. You got Turn Me Loose and Hucklebuck that are going to go forward surely. And I think Turn Me Loose is going to pour the pressure on, so he'll go past Hucklebuck, which will leave Press Statement following him into the race. And I think he'll have the option to either go left or right and peel around Turn Me Loose and just, you know, have that push button sprint. So just having, you know, the options go inside or outside. I can't see him getting blocked for a run as long as Hucklebuck drops off. And on his last run, you'd think he probably will. He just doesn't seem to have come up as good. And for that reason, I just think he gets the split. You know, that Winks is going to be working from the 600-metre mark. She'll put in a long, sustained run like she did last time. Yeah, it's going to be a great race, Rick. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind getting beaten by her. It's good to see great horses keep on winning. It's great for racing. But my bank balance will be a bit healthier if Press Statement gets up.
Yeah, well, it's fair arguments. I think you're right. He'll be in front of her on the bend. Presumably, he'll be in front of her on the bend. I think he's too close to her on the weights, to be quite frank. If he had 52 or something, I'd rate him a good chance. But this mare's got X factor that we haven't seen since Mackay Diva, and she can rattle off finishing sectionals irrespective of the distance. So coming back in 100, I think, is immaterial for her. And she'll be 5th or 6th coming to the bend, and at worst, one off the fence. And we'll just fly. The good thing is we might get a fair price because there's a lot of Winks haters there who believe that First Seal's better simply because they've raced 5 times and First Seal's beaten home 5 times. And so a lot of people will get on First Seal based on, you know, an old theory that revolves around old form. But to me, they're just mad because she's a freak. She'll just find a way to win. And he'll be able to beat Press Statement. I put him in for 2nd. I think either Kermadec or Happy Clapper will get up for 3rd. He's a good horse, this Happy Clapper. And Kermadec's outstanding, but tremendous race. Just probably the best race of the card, to be honest. Yeah,
I can't see First Seal getting up at all, Rick. And just the simple fact that Kermadec should have her covered easily because, you know, she had the gun run last time, tracked Holler up the whole way. Kermadec did it a lot tougher coming from well back. He come 4 and 5 wide around the whole turn. He was, what was he? He was first up, needed the run, obviously. She'd already had that run under her belt. And no, he took a length and a half off of her in the last, I think, 150 metres. So second up, I think Kermadec has her covered. I can't see her beating Winks.
No, and as good as she is, she hasn't taken the quantum leap into X Factor status that Winks has.
Yeah, that's right. All right, mate. Well, we've gone on with that one enough, I think. Anyway, you're with Winks, as I knew you would be. I'm with Press Statement. Next one coming up, Rosehill Guineas. Have you got one pick there for us?
Oh, I found this race to be incredibly hard. I do think Tarzino will win the Melbourne Cup this year, so if that's the case, then you'd suspect that he'll be winning the Rosehill Guineas. La Romaine has improved out of sight this campaign. Bambra is going to improve dramatically and be right in the hunt. And Montaigne's an impressive horse too. I think Tarzino wins. If Craig Froggy can get him out in time and he gets clear running down the straight, I think he'll get the prize, finish over the top of them from Bambra and probably La Romaine or Montaigne for third. Give it to La Romaine on the line.
Yeah, I'll keep this one short and sweet as well. La Romaine for me, Rick. So impressive, that last start victory over Press Statement. And having watched the race at first, I thought, geez, Press Statement was a tragedy beaten. Everyone was crying the same tune. But you go back and watch it, he had every chance, I think, to beat La Romaine. And, you know, while Press Statement had a nice cushy run in behind the pack, La Romaine was out 3 wide the whole way. He's the one that made a sustained run around the field, sprinted like a really, really good horse in the straight, put up the lengths that he needed. And when Press Statement got out and chased, he put that gap on everything else in the field, bar La Romaine. He's just an underrated horse that is flying, and I think he wins on Saturday.
Well, has been underrated, and he is flying. Those two statements are correct, but I think we're dealing with Superior Stay here in Tarzino. The longer they go, the better he's going to get. But I do agree with you that he'll have to come from behind La Romaine to beat him. But third up from a spell, and if he's as good as I think he is, this will make up for Mick Price losing the Golden Slipper, I think.
Yeah, I think he wins the Derby. There's no doubt I'll be on Tarzino for the Derby, Rick. But you know, with the Guineas here, you look back through history, it's not generally the best stayer that wins this race. The stayers finish back in the pack, and it's those horses with that brilliant turn of foot. Whether they're bred to get 2,000 or not, they're generally the ones that win. And you look at his breeding. His sire has hard spuns put out many 2,000 meter Group 1 winners in the US. They're yet to win beyond 1,600 in Australia, but you know, I think he's just got that bit of brilliance, and that sprint that he showed last start to beat Press Statement. You know, and if I'm tipping Press Statement to beat Winks, I've got to tip La Romaine to win the Guineas. So that one was given for me. So Tarzino for you, La Romaine for me.
It would make no sense for you to tip against La Romaine in a weaker race based on the theory of Press Statement in the previous race. So yes.
Yeah, and after we do this, Rick, go back and watch his replay and just watch the sprint he showed. I was so impressed watching. You know, replays. You're better off going back and watching a race 4, 5, 10 times even, because you miss a horse's run if you're not watching it over and over and over again. But geez, he was so good. All right, mate, let's get on to the next one quickly. We've got through the slipper already. The Galaxy. You've done much work on this one, Rick?
Oh, I've changed my mind 17 times. I've selected Fell's Swoop only because at the weights and he's going to get a cushy run in behind the hot pace. I wish he wasn't in the race, though, because I wanted to tip something else. I'd like to see Terra Vista win, but he's just given some really good sprinters big weight. Who was the other one I liked in the race? Well, English, of course, was on her for a lot, but how can she win drawn barrier 17? She's going to have to go right back and then storm home. Although with 51 kilos, she should be able to storm home, and she can be effective on either ground. And I think Dothraki is going to run an enormous race. He's going to be right on up there as well. But I'm going to stick with Fell Swoop. I think he's an emerging sprinting star. His Oakley Plate run was outstanding, and at the weights, he's fitter now. At the weights, I think he wins from Terra Vista and English.
Okay, well, we agree on the slipper and we agree on the Galaxy. I'm with Fell Swoop as well, Rick. And it's for the same reasoning that you had. He's drawn well, should get a good run. Where some others, you got Flambeau's drawn in 18, Rebel Dane 15, Alboy Malachi 14. They're just all these other good horses are drawn wide, Rick. English in 17, as you said, Malaguera in 13. I think a few of those will need a bit more luck. Fell Swoop probably should have won the Oakley Plate. Undefeated second up, undefeated at the track. Tick, tick, tick. In a tough race, Fell Swoop looks the one.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Malaguera's second reserve probably won't even get a run, but probably should have been in the field ahead of something like Lord of the Sky, who hasn't won for about 4 years. Anyway, that's the way it's turned out. All right, well, we're on the same one there too. Very good. I like it when we agree.
Yeah, mate, can only help, surely. All right, well, that's it. Geez, that was a big one. Plenty of Group 1 races. We've got them covered. Let's hope we get a winner and fill our pockets, mate.
Yeah, 10 races at Rosehill on Saturday. And I think the two best bets bookend the meeting. Race 1, All Cerise, I think, just leads all the way. And same for Ecuador in the last race. So hopefully, if God is good, and he really is for me punting-wise these days, but if life is right, then we start the day well and end it with money in our pockets too. So, and then Cronulla.
Just on that one, Rick, All Cerise, how good does she get in with the weight? Seriously, like meets that heavens above, 6 kilos better at the weights from last starts. Just, you know, a massive weight swing. And if it's dry, All Cerise wins, you would think, but poor record on soft track. So if it's soft, I'd be steering elsewhere.
Weighted certainty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just goes to the front, lobs along by itself, and just fights too hard in the straight. You can't run past horses with 54 kilos when they're running home and 33 and a half on the front end. It's impossible. And she's really good, heavens above, and you've got to suspect that Gusta Wynn's going to improve too. But I just can't see them beating All Cerise. I just cannot see it.
Yep. Like I said, unless it's soft track, got 1 second, 5 starts on soft. 2 failures on heavy going, so I think that's the only thing that'll slow her down is some water on the track. But other than that, looks pretty good to me.
Yes, and that's Sydney covered. That's Sydney covered.
Right, sorry, mate, you going to add something else?
I was going to say that's Sydney covered, and we probably should just stop there because there's 10 races. But then, of course, you got that big meet at Bendigo. It's a good supporting card.
It is. I'm just in the middle of doing the form for that one at the moment, Rick. So, yep, come back, everyone, and check our picks on bettingpro.com.au, and we'll have some up there. And, geez, I landed that Ferrari Star last week at $17, Rick. That was a nice one.
Yeah, exactly right. See, we go past Bendigo, and I know we're steering people into looking at our stories and things, and that's great, but... $250,000 races and $350,000 races. And I think Odyssey Moon's back to his best, can win the Guineas. I'm going to have a few bets at Bendigo too. Anyway, great weekend coming up all around, sporting wise.
All right, mate. Yeah, I'm as excited as well, mate. All right. Best of luck to everyone watching. Hope you all back a winner and enjoy a good day of racing.
Indeed. It's my favourite New South Wales racing day and my second favourite racing day in Australia. Behind the cup, of course. So punting is easy. Remember that. Punt cautiously, though, and have fun because it's going to be a great weekend.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone.